When was the last time you tried to be good at something? I mean really good at something. That new game, that new toy, that new thing comes out, and it just sparks some kind of creativity in you, and that is what happened to me when I played the game Knock. And there are many people out here who are way better than me. I'm not claiming to be the best player out there, but I've got some advanced tips for you, starting with movement. Now, we all know you can double jump, and this is me falling at a normal speed. I just fell, and that's it. But if I jump up and then hold in the grip button, you'll notice that I'm falling at a much slower rate. So if you want to hang out in the air for a lot longer, jump up and hold the grip buttons down, because that's going to allow you to kind of grab the atmosphere, and then you can actually grab it and shoot yourself down, just like I just did there. So you can grab the ceiling and throw yourself down, or you can grab the atmosphere and kind of sling yourself across. And that's something that really will help you if you jump in a custom game and start figuring out your movement and how to use both hands as you're sliding across and then jumping around and controlling yourself in the air. If you jump in a custom game, what I mean by that is you're by yourself, you start a custom game and you're the only one in there, and you're just figuring out how to move around, how the two hands work together, and how you can grab onto walls like this and just fling yourself all the way around the arena without ever touching the ground. You can just not right hand, which your non-bow hand will grab the wall or the ceiling, but the wall you can just fling yourself completely around. And now I'm just grabbing the atmosphere with both hands, back to a wall, atmosphere with both hands, going left to right with the atmosphere, and once you do that, you're going to kind of lose momentum and fall to the ground. But now I'm back up on the wall, I'm right hand flinging myself, right hand fling, and then I'm two hand, ski poles across the atmosphere back to another wall. This is a whole set of movements that you don't even think about once you get good at this, but you're probably listening to me right now and be like, what the heck is he talking about? Go in a custom game, be by yourself, and really figure out the movements and how to get around on your own. It'll help you out immensely. All right, advanced blocks. Blocks are super fun, and that just means that you press A when the arrow is in the air, and then that square will come up and it'll block the ball. And anybody can kind of do that. But the big thing is the angle of the bow. First of all, if it's straight up, you're going to see, and it's the angle of the bow when you press A, by the way, not when you shoot it. So if the angle is straight up, it'll be a certain shape, and if the angle is diagonal, it'll be a different shape. That's fine. But a lot of people try to figure out how to get good at this, and they're just like, man, I just can't figure out how to shoot it from deep and get a good block, or use the lines. That's what I do. Use the lines on the ground. You're seeing, I'm trying to show you on the ground right now, there are lines, and once the ball is going deep, I'm looking at the lines on the ground and then using that to set up where it's going to be, and then I shoot my arrow accordingly. So just look at the lines and then lay your block as if it's kind of like a mine. You're laying a mine in the ground on that line that that the ball is about to go hit. That's what I do, and it really helps me out. But the other thing about blocks that I wanted to mention today is that it's not just to stop your opponent from scoring. It's also when you're trying to score and you shoot too far and then you stop it like that and control it so that you can then score on your own, instead of it going past the goal and you have to go all the way over, get it back into the center again. It's just really helpful to use on offense just as well as on defense. The wall pass. This is where we're getting kind of into the weeds, but when you start getting decent at this, you're going to realize you need to pass it to yourself, especially in one-on-one. But you can do this in two-on-two or multiplayer too. You can pass it to your teammates. Basically, what we're going to do, anytime the ball's on the wall, you're going to get some really good momentum and then shoot it into the corner like that, because then it's going to whip around and then center itself, and then you have an easy score. So that's a wall pass. But we want to take this another level and hit you with the Jalalabad. So I will try to do that for you, but it takes a little bit of effort. So what it means is, this is from an old MTV commercial. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go look it up. But it comes from foosball. And what we're going to do here is we're going to shoot it up, kind of like we just did. But then when it goes up in the air around the corner, I want to go up in the air and shoot downward on it. So here we go. I get momentum. I shoot it up into the air, and then I'm up in the air shooting downward on it. And that is not easy to do. So that was me screwing it up. Let's see if we can get me doing it right. Okay, so when the ball is over in the corner like this, you can get it up in the air, and then if you can find a way to shoot down on it, oh man, that really just wrecks kids. I call that the Jalalabad. All right, moving on to the pop shot. This is a combo that you can really just screw kids up because they don't see it coming. And you're using a pop shot, which means that basically you want to hit the bottom of the ball and pop it up in the air. And I hit the bottom left, and then I'm going to redirect it with another shot on the top right. So I'm popping it up, and then I'm redirecting it back to the center of the goal. That's what we're going to try to do here. I pop it bottom left, for example, and then I redirect it on the opposite side, top right. And I popped it over this kid's head off of the drop, and it was so funny because he's like, "What you got, man?" I popped it over his head and then redirected it in a combo to the goal, and he's like, "Wait, what just happened?" And that's when you really feel like you're doing something. So you pop it up, and then you redirect it. And that whole thing is, you're trying to not let them block you, because the better that people get at this, you're going to realize you can't just hit the ball straight anymore. So these combos will really help you out. But the most important thing that I can tell you today, it's the one thing that I learned on the first game I ever played, and it's the best thing I ever heard, is quick shots. Look how fast I'm shooting. You have to shoot so fast. Look, you get better at this, it needs to be shot, 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 shot. And I mean that because every time that I move the ball, it means you now have to reset where you were going to shoot. If I'm not, quickly shooting, then I'm just giving you all kinds of time to think about and set up whatever you want to do. But if I'm just shot, constantly as much as I can, moving the ball so that you don't have control of what you want to do, I'm frantic with it. And people are like exhausted by it because they're like, "Wait a minute, I never can get what I want to do off." And I'm like, yeah, because every time you go to do what you want to do, I move the ball, you miss, and more often than not, I hear, "Oh man, I don't have any arrows." And that's because I'm making you miss by constantly moving it right before you're shooting it. So quick shots will really help you in this. The more you can get used to it, I'm telling you, just get around there and be accurate, because the more you miss, obviously, the more you got to go pick up arrows. I rarely miss, which means I'm always rolling around with plenty of ammo, and I'm just messing these kids up left and right. It's great. It's just fantastic. What a fun game. Go into a custom game. I promise you, it's the best thing that you can do for yourself. I learned that from Halo back in the day. If you can do that, you will get comfortable with your own environment by yourself, and then you'll go into the next game you go into, I promise you're going to dominate. You're just going to be like, "Oh my God, I'm so much more comfortable," because you know how to move and react and do things and set yourself up and shoot certain angles that you like and set up those angles. It's just a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see you guys and girls out there.